Subscribe to James the Sheriff Dixon, you motherfucker.
This is Fun Times with the Sheriff Season 5, Episode 8. I got my best bud Anthony back on. Say hello.
Hey, good to be back, guys.
So, we're going to talk. Our first topic is Jurassic Park. So, over the summer, I showed Anthony Jurassic Park because he's never seen any of the movies, which is crazy to me. Since we're coming on 20 years of friendship now, right?
It would be like 2002 or 3. Yep.
Yeah. But, yeah, I've never showed you any of the Jurassic Park movies, which I thought was crazy. So, what do you think of the very first one? I've only shown you the first one as of this recording.
Okay, I think it was a great movie on multiple levels. It was great in terms of the sort of effects and graphics, not only for its time, but also like it holds up even to the standards of today. And it was good in the sense that it wasn't all CGI, like a lot of the Marvel movies are very, CGI heavy, but this had a good mix of,
Robots, the robotic dinosaurs you're talking about?
yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't do any CGI for the dinosaurs, which I appreciated. I think probably on the more modern Jurassic Parks they do,
Oh, yeah.
but it just goes to show that going the extra mile with effects can really make a difference. And then, beyond the effects and such, the sort of grand world scale that the movie had with, all the lush jungle and the dinosaurs. Beyond that, it just also had good character development.
Well, I was going to talk about the characters in a minute. What do you think of the actors, the casting, and all that?
Uh, Memorable characters. I, except for I didn't like the guy who plays Newman in Seinfeld. Uh, well, I mean, but he's supposed to not be likable. Like, I don't think I've ever seen him in a likable role.
Yeah, even in
Mm,
Seinfeld, he's the guy that they always joke on, isn't he?
that's right. That's right.
But
Um,
yeah,
but the professor and his are they married or just girlfriend and boyfriend? I don't.
they were just dating in the first one. I don't want to really spoil it, since I'm going to be
Okay,
showing you them throughout these next few months in 2024. Yeah.
thank you. Well, the professor and his girlfriend, I like how their relationship evolved. Like he was afraid of maybe commitment and afraid of being a dad or didn't like
Kids,
kids.
yeah.
Um, and then by the end of the movie, he had grown in that, which I think is an important thing for men to do. And the movie did a good job of showing how his relationship with the kids on the
Well, I
island
mean, when your
helped
life's in
him.
danger, he's gonna have to save the kids.
That's right.
He could have
That's
been
right.
like Newman and just left the kids.
And then I know your favorite character.
Jeff Goldblum.
Uh, yep. Uh, Kind of played a good role in the sense of calling out hubris and pride. Like, this life will find a way. Like, you can't try to
They
control
found
nature.
they found they discovered it, but they didn't stop long enough to think about not doing it. They just went ahead and did it.
That's right, and it's a good cautionary tale, especially for I'm a scientist, I'm a chemist. It's a good way to recall that we can't approach nature as something that we have absolute control over. We have to have a lot of respect and forethought about how we make technologies and utilize our discoveries in the sciences.
But
Yeah.
you've seen the read the book or whatever, haven't you, or no?
No, no, I have no idea. I before watching the movie, my biggest exposure to it was back in 2003. My family went to Universal Studios in
The ride.
California, and they had a ride, yeah, like a water ride that and me and my older sister went on it. It's a very fond childhood memory actually, and they had a nice gift shop full of dinosaur stuff. It was really cool. I like
I
that.
went on that ride too. I think they actually used some of the animatronics from the movie, I believe, because I remember the actual being like actual robots or whatever in that ride.
Yeah, they were definitely robotic. Like the raft that you went up on the ride, like dinosaurs would jump their head out at you on both sides. It was pretty cool.
And but yeah, back to the book. I've read the book at least twice now in my
Hmm.
life. It's a really good. I think I told you when you were over after we watched it that John Hammond in the book is like way more evil than he is portrayed in the movie.
Yeah, in the movie, he's kind of like a not so much evil as like just
Playful.
full of himself and full of his ideas. Yeah,
I thought he was more like playful than anything, and then, like an old man that has a lot of money and he threw it at something.
yeah, exactly. Like the grandpa who got in over his head a little bit.
He's like in that scene where he talks about the owning a flea circus where it was all just an illusion or whatever.
Right.
And
Also, also he kind of reminds me of Colonel Sanders for KFC. Not just saying.
just the way he dressed.
Yeah, like it looked like exactly like Colonel Sanders.
Probably they probably went off of that. Him owning the secret to dinosaurs and not sharing it.
Well, dinosaurs are the predecessors of chickens, so there's yes, probably some connection there.
I want to go off Jurassic World a little bit because I know you haven't seen any of those ones. I hate those movies, by the way. I think I mentioned this.
That's what Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt, and like you said, they go heavily on the CGI. They shy away from the robotics like they do in the first three Jurassic Park movies.
Yeah. And so the books, James. When did the books come out? The 70s or the 80s?
The first one came out in the late '80s, and the second one came out in the right after the first movie because the first movie did so well that Steven Spielberg went to the guy and asked him to make a second book, and then they went off of that. Yeah.
Okay, so that's remarkable that the book was released in the 80s, then there was a film adaptation that soon after, which um, yeah, I mean, growing up, every boy at least has like some phase about dinosaurs and really liking dinosaurs. So maybe they capitalized on that. I don't know.
Yeah, no, yeah, it was like it came out in '93, so that would have been right around that time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did see a documentary. They did say after Jurassic Park came out, like the paleontology went like way up for like kids in the '90s or whatever.
Yeah, everyone, and I also know that there was some Indiana Jones stuff in the 80s, so that was probably like, yeah, very popular topics just to talk about archaeology and paleontology.
And I was a dinosaur kid growing up. Like I said, I watched this movie when I was 4, and I've been in love with it ever since. And when I got older, I fell in love with the film aspect of it. And yeah.
Yeah. What's your favorite dinosaur?
It's between the Spinosaurus, which is in the third one. I don't want to spoil it, and the Velociraptor.
The Velociraptor. Okay. Okay.
What's yours?
Oh. I like the Triceratops. Or yeah, to be honest, the Triceratops. I kind of just like how it's this big tank
Like
and it.
like Dr. Grant, mine used to be the Triceratops as a kid, and then after Jurassic Park, it became the Velociraptor.
Okay. Did you watch The Land Before Time?
Oh,
Like
I grew up
any
watching
of?
that movie. Yeah,
Me too.
yeah,
Me too.
the Sarah, whatever her name is. Yeah,
Yeah.
Sarah the Triceratops.
Yeah, I have no idea how they made like 8 or 9 of those things, but they did.
There's like 20.
I don't. Yeah, it's something
Yeah,
ridiculous.
it's like crazy. Like there's like a bunch of them, and there's a TV show too, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to talk, like you mentioned earlier, physicist, you want to jump right into Oppenheimer.
Cool. Yeah. That one I saw earlier.
And when
It
it came out.
actually not when it first came out. I saw it in August or September, kind of when it was still in theaters, but like the craze of the summer
Died
was
down.
over.
Yeah, it was still crazy.
Yeah.
But when I watched Barbie, the craze was. I watched Barbie in September, and the craze was like still, like there. But like, yeah, you're right. It like died down, but was still there.
Right. Right.
I waited until it was on demand because I wasn't gonna go and sit for a 3-hour Christopher Nolan movie in theater. It's not like it's Marvel. Come on.
Oh, James, you see, that's where we disagree. I am all about.
No, that if there's a long drawn out scene where if I have to get up and go to the bathroom, I don't want to miss it. I'm gonna want to pause it and come back to it. That's why I waited till it was on demand.
No, part of the best things about movies is going to the bathroom afterwards and feeling the relief. Okay, that's one of the best aspects, James. Come on.
So back to what you were saying about the
You know,
yeah.
sorry. Um, well, what's interesting is it kind of had some of the same themes of Jurassic Park in the sense of, yeah, we can make these interesting scientific discoveries and
Bombs.
have applications of them, but uh, just the sheer destruction, obviously, that the atomic bomb produced in Japan, and then also the hydrogen bomb thereafter, and sort of the
Well,
proliferation of nuclear weapons.
well, in
It's
the
another
movie they
case.
said they were like working on it at the same time.
Yeah, it's just another good example of, you know, not just trying to figure things out, but to think about the repercussions of what these new technologies will have on society.
By the way, they made
And
him look. Cillian Murphy, great job. By the way, had to point that out. As
who did?
Cillian Murphy, the guy who played Oppenheimer,
Yeah,
great job. I said, and they made him uh, like a great like guy you want to hate. He's like a good deadbeat dad or whatever.
yeah. I guess that was sort of the negative aspect for me. Was
Because that
I
kind
mean,
of
there were,
reminded me of my life and what's going on. I don't really like to put that out my channel. You know what's going on in my life, but
right.
that's what just made me hate him even more. I'm like, yeah, you just throw your kid off on your brother like that. Come on, man. And your wife's an alcoholic. Like, come on.
Yeah, and then he has an affair. While he goes back to the one
But
girl.
yeah, but back to the wife though. I love the ending. Well, spoilers for the ending where they said they were gonna forgive him, and the wife was not shaking anybody's hand, and he was.
Yeah, I mean, she was like very much a strong individual in the sense that I can't believe that you're taking this from them. They're trying to ruin you, trying to ruin us, and she
Oh
really
yeah,
tried to put a backbone in him and help him in this
after
situation.
the
I will
trial.
say
Yeah,
that.
after the whole
Oh,
trial
go
thing.
ahead.
Yeah,
Oh, I think. By the way, I do think he was a communist. Like if
like in real life.
just in
Yeah,
my Yeah, in my research of the historical situation, no, he was never a quote card carrying member of the communists, but there's incontrovertible proof that like he donated to causes and associated with communists. So like
yeah.
if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck.
I love.
Insane. And
Uh,
go ahead.
I was gonna say I loved. You're gonna hate me for saying this. Robert Downey Jr.'s performance.
No, James, I was just about to say I thought Robert Downey Jr. did a fantastic job in his role. I really do.
As being the guy that they were trying to put the blame on him for the bomb thing, and no, he's like, no, I got this guy to do it specifically.
Yeah. I I think that he did a really good job, and that the last one of the last scenes where his aide were
Oh yeah,
like
when he was
they're,
giving him
they're
his hat or whatever. Yeah,
yeah, that was really rich. Maybe don't want to drop any spoilers, but basically, his aide kind of tells Robert Downey Jr. to screw off. Essentially, that he's
in a
just
polite
used
way in front of
people.
everybody. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Um, and that was great. And then the doors open and he comes out. Yeah, that was a great
I s-
because the movie started kind of with um, him talking with his aide and with Albert Einstein and
yeah.
Oppenheimer talking together. Yeah,
Because he thought Oppenheimer said something about him, but he didn't.
yeah, yeah.
And then
Um,
I was gonna say
I like.
I saw an interview Christopher Nolan and Robert Downey Jr. did where Christopher Nolan said that Robert Downey Jr. has always been the front man for his movies, and like this wasn't his movie. That's why even though he did so good, he wasn't like the front man for this movie. He was the a side character.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I also sort of as someone who does scientific research and has a background in laboratories. It was a very they got a lot of aspects of research right, like the excitement of it, the disappointments of it, the sort
Getting
of
stuff right and wrong, or whatever.
pardon me.
I said getting the stuff right and wrong, or whatever, for that aspect.
Yeah. They're sort of the ways that scientists communicate with each other about research. Graduate school, like with Lawrence, the one who was the great experimentalist and guy who built the first cyclotrons and things like that. Um, just yeah, they got a really good job. They did a really good job of academia and higher education and the research process. They made it was somewhat sensationalized because obviously the topic is like very interesting and important to the
Yeah,
public.
yeah.
But
Like
but
every
they
movie,
did
it's
a
gonna
good job.
be like any historical movie. It's gonna be like, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I think the one of the most chilling parts was when Oppenheimer was with President Truman, and Truman's like, "You think anyone gives a damn about you? I dropped that bomb."
Yeah,
Like
yeah. I
that
got.
was
Wasn't Truman the one that was in the wheelchair too? The president.
the guy right before him, Roosevelt.
I was about to say. I was confused when I saw him standing. I was like, wait.
Yeah, Roosevelt died in the middle of one of his terms, and then Truman was elected
Afterwards.
in 1948 after the war, but he was also president after Roosevelt died because I think he was his vice president. Um, I think that's the timeline, yeah, because Truman would be 48 and then Eisenhower for 8 years, 52 to 60, then Kennedy. Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. I was about to say yeah. But yeah, no, like the whole thing that I thought was just crazy, and uh, I don't know what else to say. Like I said, the ending got me, the wife, and again the trial. Robert,
Yeah,
without spoiling it, it's like hard to say without spoiling it.
right.
So I
I
guess.
guess
Oh, go on.
the I thought the sexual content wasn't really necessary to the story,
Oh yeah,
but
no, like
I don't know.
the opening scene where he says, "I have become death." He doesn't say that there. I know that he says it when they actually tested the bomb. He says it there. I know that.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna
Um,
ask you, what do you think of Josh from Drake and Josh being the one to actually?
oh my gosh, James! I was in the theater and Hannah, she didn't watch Drake and Josh, so she didn't understand why I was so agitated. But I almost couldn't contain myself. I was like, "What is Josh Peck doing in this role? What the?" Yeah, very strange. I almost forgot about that.
where they were about to do it, and he's like, "If it goes wrong, you gotta press that button." It was Josh Peck who had to press that button.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Anyone growing up in our generation was probably very confused.
I was gonna say like, if only that was Drake Bell who's the Oppenheimer.
Yeah, like what is Miranda Cosgrove gonna show up there too? Like,
I was talking to this with another buddy of mine. It's like pretty much everybody in Hollywood was in this movie. Pretty much, I want to say, like all the big names. If you go back and watch
uh,
it.
yeah, I mean, some of the people like Samuel. Wait, was Samuel Jackson? I mean,
No,
no,
Samuel Jackson was it.
no, I know what you mean. There were a lot of big names. Yeah, he had a good cast.
Even for like a quick scene, like where they're just talking in a hallway, like there's like a big name there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're almost to that time, so I guess I talk about shows that we've been watching or whatever. Have you been watching
Yep.
anything good lately?
Uh, so in terms of movies, I've seen a few. I saw a movie called The Zookeeper's Wife. That's about the Holocaust. That was pretty good. It came out in 2012, I think.
I've heard of
I
that.
saw a movie called The Fall, which is a really good movie as well. That's from the 90s, I think, or the early 2000s. It's called The Fall. It's a Japanese film called Ikiru, which is apparently is considered one of the great films of all time. It's by Kurosawa from the 50s, but that one's that one is an old one, James. I'm not sure if you'd be on board for it. I saw some Hitchcock films.
I think
Um,
last time we saw each other. You were mentioning Hitchcock or whatever, like in person.
yeah, went and saw one called The Family Plot. It's his last film from 1975 or six. That one was just a good mystery kind of thriller thing. That one I think you'd like for sure. And then I watched one on Hulu, The Boston Strangler. That just came out this year
Oh,
with
I think
Keira
I've heard of that. I
Knightley.
think I've seen that title cross my Hulu before too.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I like Keira Knightley, and
Listen, the
it's
Pirates of
based
the
on a
Caribbean.
yeah, exactly. And it's based on a true story. I watched that with Hannah, and we both really liked that. Those are the movies we've seen, and then TV shows. There's one with Tim Allen called Last Man Standing. It's just a like family sitcom, but it's from like I don't know 2010 to about I think it went 8 seasons or 9 seasons, so
I think I've
it's
heard
no
of that one
longer
too. That's
coming out.
yeah.
It's pretty funny.
I've been catching up on a lot of stuff since. By the way, we're almost to 60,000 subs on this channel here. I just wanted to put that out there.
Hello, look. I was on this channel when there were less than 500 subs, people. So I'm an OG. Okay,
Yeah, I think you were one of the first guests too in season one.
I was probably one of the first subscribers and one of the first
I think
guests.
we were on here even before there was 50 subs, if I recall. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. By the time this is up, they'll probably be past that. But
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
I've
awesome.
been catching up on a bunch of shows because I've got all my bad movies done for my reviews up until the first week of February. So I just uploaded all of them on my channel just now. That's what I was doing before we were talking. So
Yeah, no problem.
um, I've been watching. I just got done watching a TV show called Archive 81. It has one of the guys from Jurassic World in it, who's better in the show than
Uh-huh.
it's about a guy who restores old VHS tapes, and he comes across one that's cursed. He has to stop a demon from attacking him.
I think they should be calling an exorcist.
It's on Netflix, so I've been watching that. It's really
Yeah.
good. And then I've got my phone out here, scrolling through my phone here. I just watched Tropic Thunder for the first time ever.
Oh, that one's hilarious, James.
Uh, Surprised me how many of my favorite actors are all in that.
Dude. Oh, if you like Jack Black and Owen, I mean Owen Wilson's not in there,
Oh,
but
no, yes. Jack Black. It has Bill Hader. It has Tom Cruise, Robert Downey Jr. Ben Stiller, Tom Cruise.
Owen Wilson's in there too. I forgot about that. Well, um,
Anthony
there's
McConaughey.
one with McConaughey. Yeah, you should watch The Big Year. It's Steve Martin, Owen Wilson, and Jack Black. It's from like
That's on my
2007.
Netflix queue. It's a comedy movie, I believe, right?
Yeah, it's very good. Oh, that reminds me, another Owen Wilson one. Sorry, the Darjeeling Express. It's a Roman. What is his name? Roman Polanski or
Yeah, I think you got it there. Yeah.
Darjeeling? The Darjeeling Limited. That's what it's called. Darjeeling Limited. Uh, that's Wes Anderson. I'm sorry. It's a Wes Anderson film.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. Okay. And I also watched that new Goosebumps on Disney.
Is that based off the books?
It's based off the Cartoon Network one, and they made it more adult.
Okay.
Which really surprised me that Disney owns it, because it was owned by Cartoon Network, and when I saw it on Disney, I was like, how good can this be? And it's actually really good because they made it more mature for the adult audience that grew up with it from the Cartoon Network era.
I have a question. Some of my students in the semester a little bit earlier were talking about the Five Nights at Freddy movie.
I did watch it. I already have a review out on it, and I've talked about it a bunch on this podcast already. What do you want to know about it?
Well, I don't know too much about Five Nights at Freddy, but can you just give me a quick synopsis,
yeah,
maybe?
I'll tell you. Tommy, back when we were in high school, Tommy loved that game. He played every single game. There's like 20 of those games too. He played every single game. So I know I know all the lore about it. I knew all the lore about going into it because he played all the game. He's seen all like Markiplier and all them stream it or whatever.
Yeah.
So I know all that. And my little cousin Allie, I know you know her. She's also into it. So my cousin Brent saw that movie too. So Shaggy is playing one of the villains in it, by the way. Matthew Lillard.
Maggie?
Yeah, Matthew Lillard. Yeah.
Oh, the guy from the live action Scooby Doo. That's hilarious.
So, like, I could not stop myself from making because it's a horror movie. I cannot stop myself from making Shaggy fell on hard times after Scoob died jokes. he hired a guy to the story is in which he hires a night shift security guard to look after animatronics that come to life at night to kill people, and he wants to kill the security guard. That's Matthew Lillard's character.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, no, I've seen that movie. It's not as good as Willy's Wonderland, which stars Nicolas Cage, that has the same premise, but Nicolas Cage is in it, and he does not say anything whatsoever throughout the entire movie. He just grunts and kills the animatronics.
Oh. Gotta love Nicolas Cage.
Oh, well, I've talked extensively about Nicolas Cage on this channel. I know you know that.
Dude, I love Nicolas Cage. I do. Okay.
Face Off. Come on, man. You can't get better than Face Off. I'm gonna take his face. All right, so we're actually almost 10 minutes past the time.
Well, that's some extra content for the subscribers.
So, any last words you want to say before we end it here?
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to whoever listens to this.
Hello to
you have a good
followers.
time. Hello to the new followers. Shout out to Thurston High School. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Thanks for coming on.
All right. Thank you for having me, James.
I just want to shout out an amazing channel, James the Sheriff Dixon. Oh, he's such a great guy, and he is super cool for coming to the show. I'm glad I got to meet him in person, and you should subscribe.